All right, everybody, we are back. And the last time we discussed, last time I left you, I had discussed putting the shoulders on and the carapace on, okay? Well, we're going to have to switch gears a little bit. Hey, everybody, this is Everyman with Everyman's 40K channel, and we're going to switch gears, meaning in order to put everything together, I'm going to go ahead and I got to get this neck and shoulders and kind of head piece on here, okay? Because the carapace has to go on as well. And in order to fit this in the right location, I have to be finished with the head and we got to stick it on, okay? So bottom line is we're moving to the head here. Now, let's talk about this. So what we're going to do today, we're going to put this big doll thing away here, right? We're not going to touch it. So on this head, what we're going to do is on this half of the model, the side I'm showing you right now, I want to do some metal work. I want to make it look like a cyborg, or like half its skull is metal. And what we're going to do is, you can see in that eye socket, okay, it's almost just by the shadow, you guys can see we're going to make this look like an empty skull, or like basically bionics inside there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this back here. Okay, so we're going to thin out that horn. We're going to give a little bit more space between where the eye is supposed to go and that horn. Okay, so we're going to put a little space here. We're going to drill out the eye socket, and we're going to leave that as a hole. It's going to be a deep recess, kind of like you can look in there. Okay, we're going to make this horn. Okay, we're going to get rid of all this kind of wrinkly looking stuff, and we're going to make this look like a steel pipe that has been kind of bolted or welded into the skull. We're going to sand back or grind back a little bit, okay? And in order to do that, I clearance the back end. So bring this in here again. So that goes here. So I clearance that so I can get my finger in there and do some work on the inside, okay? The model, as you can see right here, okay, in that little section right there, okay, this is 1.5 millimeters thick. So when I hollowed this out in order to do the print, so this thing didn't come out solid, I did a hollow operation, hollowed it out. Well, I chose the thickness of the wall, and so I chose 1.5. You either go 1.5 up to 2 millimeter thickness, just depending on like the crush factor or how hard you want that model. So this one is really good. I mean, I'm happy with the 1.5. So you go 1.5, 1.7, or 2 millimeter when you hollow out a model. Just depends on how much resin you want to use. Okay, so another thing we're going to do is you always start small. So I'm telling you what we're going to do here, because once I get started, I don't know if I'm going to be able to just keep talking through everything, okay? So what you always do is we have some super small drill bits, tiny drill bits. As I've discussed before in some of my other operations, you always want to drill with the smallest bit that you have for the job, okay? You don't ever want to go straight drill into something with the size that you're going to end up having it be. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use a pilot, because the smaller the drill bit, the more precise area or precise hole location I can get, okay? So again, just a secret, always start small and then venture out to larger, right? And I got a set of bits here. As we're working these, we'll expand, okay? Now here we also have this. We're going to do a little drilling, okay, or a little grinding. What we're going to do is we're going to grind, okay, in here with this fine tip. We're going to grind about a 0.5 millimeter down, because I do not want, for example, the scales to be here. I don't want the skull to sit on the scales, okay? I want them to be flush, because then we're going to put stitches, okay? We're going to actually stitch. It's going to look pretty cool. We're going to do like basically like an orc. So like an orc gets his arm cut off, they plug in some type of metal something, and then you see the Mad Doc, he stitched the orc or the guy's neck back together, okay? Take a look at the Gazgo model. He's all stitched up all over the place. So that's what we're gonna do. So to recap, we're gonna make a pipe or a steel shaft coming out to a point here. So we're gonna smooth this out, make it look steel. We're gonna come down here to this jaw line, and we're gonna stop right at that jaw line. So all this is gonna be metal. His head is gonna be metal. We're gonna grind back the top here to a certain location and come back around. So this whole section is gonna look like a metal skull. Now, final piece. I got my orc sprue here. Okay, you can see little orcs. This comes off of a mech gun. Okay, now in the eye socket, we're gonna put that little piece in the eye location right there, and we're gonna have it kind of look like a metal with a little glowing eye, little hoopty, okay, little electronic laser eye, so to speak. Okay, so that's the plan. That's everything we're gonna do. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start grinding. Okay, so we switched. Obviously that wasn't gonna work, so we went to the bigger heavy hitter. Okay, so now we're gonna start grinding.
Shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing. All here for the taking.
Okay, so there it is. Kind of ground down a little bit. Basically clearanced it about a half a millimeter. That's it, maybe a millimeter. So now we're gonna drill out this eyeball. So we're gonna take this drill bit right here. So all we're doing is stepping up. Okay, so looking better. So this is probably the final hole size here. Okay, so check that out. So it's getting there. So now we got to start carving. Okay, so I'm gonna go get some paper towel, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plug this with paper towel behind here with my finger, and I'm gonna stuff some paper towel in there because I want to close that out. So when I paint it, it's behind there. It's gonna be black like a socket, okay, that an eyeball is supposed to be in. So let me go get some paper towel and some wood glue, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back, and I just got anything from the kitchen. I got a napkin, some glue, and basically we're just gonna stuff a concoction of glue and paper towel up inside there. All we want is a backing so that when we put the little metal socket orc thing in there, that we have a socket. There, see? Now what we're going to do is I'm going to let that dry. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to close this out and we're done, okay, for now. Then we're going to come back and we're going to do some sculpting with some milliput, okay? So that's it for now. See ya when I come back. All right, I am done and I am back. So we have the prep work done. As you can see, bring it in close. We ground out the skull area, or the, what do you want to call it, the scales, ground them down. So now when we go in there with milliput and we're getting ready to knead up some milliput, you can use green stuff, whatever you prefer. But now when we lay that in there, we have a good defined area, and we're going to leave a little crack, right? So where the milliput and the scales come back together, we're going to leave that crack there. So it is a really defined, sort of like we said earlier, a Frankenstein sort of seam where two pieces of metal and flesh come together. I went ahead and I glued in our eyeball. So we do have that mechanical kind of feeling now of that one side with like a laser beam eye. So if you can see here, we've got it centered or in position right in line with the other eyeball. So now we just have cleanup work to do. We have to stuff in back here in the back some milliput, clean that up, and then again just resculpt this horn here, but make it so it looks like it's a steel weapon. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to mix up some milliput. You don't have to see me do that. Basically, it's two parts, right? Just like green stuff. There's this blue and yellow. Milliput is kind of this gray and yellow. I'm going to mix that up. Let me knead up a batch, and then we'll start sculpting. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so time to get sculpting. So this is, I'm not very good at this, so we'll try it. So first thing is going to pinch off just a little bit, and we're going to fill this hole or this gap, and we're going to make like an eye socket. Then I grab any type of tool. This is just a barbecue skewer, so again, nothing fancy.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises.
So basically I'm rebuilding, trying to rebuild that cheekbone that you see on the this side here. So I'm redefining that undercut there, right in there. So right under here, trying to get back that cheekbone, but not touch the horn here, or the steel part. I need a brush, an old paintbrush. I'll be back.
I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe
Okay, there, look at that. So now we're going to let this dry. And then we're just going to do a little cleanup after it's dry. A little sandpaper, a little scraping here and there, just a little cleanup. But check that out. That is it. And the timer on the video recording says 58 minutes and 40 seconds. So almost an hour to do all this, okay? So just giving you an idea. So we're going to be back. Next thing we're going to do is we are still going to mess with this a little bit, and then we're going to stick this onto the head, okay, or onto the main body. Okay, that's it. I got to eat. I'll be back. All right, so I got everything done but the rivets. But you can see, check that out, coming out of that eye. We got the stitches on, and then we got our electronic eye in there. We got these little hoopties, right? I like to call it whatever, spikes, hoopties, tusks. So we have those on. I do have to do maybe a little bit of cleanup at the base of each tusk, but only just a little sculpting to clean up the glue and, you know, get some of those scales back. But we're ready to put it on, so it's time. So give me a second and we'll slap this baby on and I'll be back. All right, done and done. So here you go, look at that. That is gonna look really good once I get the rest of them all built and armored up. Check out those wires coming out. Now a little bit of cleanup, as you can see here. We got some gaps, we got a little bit of a mismatch on alignment. Not bad though, easily cleaned up. And you got to remember, the carapace, the whole top piece is going to be hidden. So we got a whole drop this, shoulder pads, right? The Chaos Knight shoulder pads, everything. All this is kind of going to be hidden. And then underneath, again, it's sort of hidden because it is underneath, right? You have to pick the actual model up and kind of get under there and start looking to try to find that seam line. And if you're not going to know where to look, once I carve it in there, blend it in, and get it all painted and primed, I mean, I'm telling you, you're not going to see it. I'm not going to let people see it. So you can search for it. You're not going to see it. So that's it. This is the head and shoulder section, or head and neck section. So hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell, and hit that like button and tell all your friends on social media that I'm out here. And like we always say, may all your dice rolls come up sixes unless you're looking for a one, fellas. Peace out.